Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Now at 6:30 on WKYT, hear from a man who says he fought back after his parents and sister were murdered in their Kentucky home.
With some Kentucky soldiers in Liberia, lawmakers want more details about their mission to combat Ebola.
And ditch the diet, at least for the day. The Cheesecake Factory opens up today at Fayette Mall in Lexington. We'll have those stories and more and breaking news as it happens. It's coming up on WKYT This Morning. Hey there, good morning and welcome. It's good to have you along as we get this day off and rolling. Here we are on Tuesday, and it is October 28th, a week before the Kentucky elections.
Very exciting stuff, and that's where you were last night, was hosting the debate between the congressional candidates.
And it was fun over at EKU. Interesting divide there, and certainly a lot of good students learning a lot during that process last night. Bill Bryan and Rebecca Smith with the latest news. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris in our First Alert Weather Center. Some warm wind out there this morning. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, it is a little bit strange, and you kind of feel it outside that something's on the way, and there is. Not right now. I mean, it's going to be later on this afternoon and off into the evening. No, nonetheless, you're going to be seeing some rain for today, and that kind of wipes some of this really nice, mild, call it warm weather that we've been dealing with the past couple of days. There you are in the 60s, 66 there in Richmond. You can see mid-60s pretty much everywhere. Now, as we go toward the afternoon, we'll be right there in the 70s. Showers and thunderstorms will move on in and make it feel a little bit cooler as we head into the nighttime hour. I'll go over what we can expect out of these storms and kind of the timing of that coming up in just a few short minutes.
All right, see you then. Thank you.
He is the lone survivor of a triple murder.
And this morning, the son and brother of the victim is talking about the man accused in Sunday's deadly shooting spree in Trigg County. WKYT Sean Moody is at our live desk with the latest on the investigation. Sean?
Hey, good morning, Bill. That survivor said the man showed up at the family's door the night before. Now he says he's lost his whole family. Ryan Champion was the only person who survived Sunday's killings. Police believe 22-year-old Vito Reservato shot and killed Ryan Champion's parents, Lindsay and Joy Champion, and his sister, Emily Champion. They say Reservato was also found dead inside the family's house. Ryan Champion said Reservato tied him up and held him and his sister at gunpoint. He said his parents weren't home when it started, but showed up while the attack was happening.
He acted erratically the entire time. He was keeping, a real good eye on me, and my concern was just for her the whole time.
Reservato and escape. Police haven't said how Reservato ended up dead. Autopsies are scheduled for today, and funeral services are pending. At the live desk, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Sean, thank you very much. Police are investigating a deadly crash in western Kentucky involving a horse-drawn buggy. The Christian County Sheriff's Office says 14-year-old Judith Martin died over the weekend. She and 3 other girls were riding in the buggy near Hopkinsville when the horse apparently was spooked by a passing semi. The horse ran across a 4-lane highway and into the path of a car. All 4 girls were ejected. The surviving 3 are now at a Tennessee hospital. A toddler was rushed to UK hospital after falling off of a moped. New this morning, Lexington police say a woman was driving the moped with the toddler riding in her lap when the child fell out last night on Bainbridge Court. The child hit his head but is being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The woman was not charged, but police did take a wanton endangerment report.
A former Kentucky teacher admits she had an inappropriate relationship with a student. Carrie Williams pleaded guilty to 2 counts of unlawful transaction with a minor. Investigators say in 2007 she was involved with a senior at Franklin County High School where she taught. That student recently died, and that's when his mother found emails between her son and Williams.
She had seen her son denied justice for so many times, and she wanted to make sure that Miss Staples, now Williams, was finally brought to justice and held accountable for what she did.
Williams resigned from Franklin County High School last week. She'll serve 5 years supervised probation. She surrendered her teacher's license.
Federal prosecutors are opposing a move by an Iraqi man convicted in a Kentucky terrorism case to gain access to his complete case file. The U.S. attorney filed a motion saying that 26-year-old Mohammed Hamadi should not be allowed to have the sensitive information in the case. He is considering withdrawing his guilty plea after taking part in a plot to ship thousands of dollars in cash and weapons from Bowling Green, Kentucky to Al-Qaeda in Iraq. A co-defendant pleaded guilty back in 2010.
A nurse who was forcibly quarantined in New Jersey after returning from treating Ebola patients in West Africa is scheduled to arrive home in Maine today to face more seclusion. But the lawyer representing Casey Hickox says he disagrees that her enforced home stay will be a full 21 days after her last possible exposure to the virus. The attorney is having discussions with state officials.
Our news time this morning is 6:36, and meanwhile, several lawmakers are asking the Defense Department to clarify the mission of Fort Campbell soldiers who were sent to Africa to help fight Ebola. The 101st Airborne Division took command on Saturday of an operation to build Ebola care centers in Liberia. The goal is to stop the spread of the virus. Lawmakers want more details on the scope of the mission and how soldiers based at the post on the Kentucky-Tennessee line will be protected from the disease. A former Lexington mayor who's been battling a life-threatening bacterial infection is improving some this morning, but Foster Pettit's son tells the Herald-Leader that his father still has a long road to recovery ahead. Pettit is still on a ventilator and a feeding tube. He contracted the infection earlier this month when family members say his fishing boat capsized in Louisiana, severely cutting his leg. Well, after months of anticipation, the wait is nearly over this morning.
Victor got a good assignment today. The Cheesecake Factory officially opens at the Fayette Mall today. It's just part of the mall's renovation project at large. Victor Puente is live at the Cheesecake Factory with details on the big grand opening.
Hey there.
Well, this is such a big opening. There are already employees here preparing for the crowd that they expect at lunch. And it's not just desserts like in the case behind me. There's also pasta, pizzas, even steaks being prepped. Now, the 8,000 square foot restaurant is part of the Fayette Mall's project to fill the space left by the closing of Sears. Before today, the closest cheesecake factory in Kentucky was in Louisville. Now, the restaurant is known for its dozens of cheesecakes, and we got a look inside last week when they held a soft opening, but today the full 250-item menu will be available. This restaurant is just one of a few new ones. Coming to the Fayette Mall, Trevinia Italian Kitchen and Nuke's Eatery are also opening soon. They'll be joined by clothing retailers Vera Bradley and H&M as the mall reorganizes in time for Christmas. Now, doors open at 11. Shortly after that, I'll be deciding between the red velvet cheesecake or the key lime cheesecake. Tough decisions. Live in Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
What a hard life. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, tough assignment for Victor. I'd go with the key lime for sure.
Would you? All right. There you go. Choice is made for you.
Yeah. If the Cheesecake Factory isn't your thing, how about dining out to fight diabetes?
Our own Amber Philpott is part of tonight's American Diabetes Association's Kiss a Pig event. Now, she's raising money to help find a cure for the disease, and if she raises the most cash, she will be the one to have to pucker up and kiss a pig. You can join the fun tonight from 5 until 9 at Saul Good in Hamburg. 20% of your bill will help Amber get closer to kissing a pig and finding a cure for diabetes. You can find a flyer needed for tonight's dinner at WKYT.com. So go on and check that out.
As I've been saying, better her than me.
Okay. We'll see how that all turns out. 6:39 is the time this morning on your Tuesday, and it's time to check live drive traffic again and see what's happening early this morning. It's certainly picking up on the interstate. There's I-75 and I-64 at the northern split. Also reports that traffic volumes are significantly up now on Nicholasville Road as well as Richmond Road. And you know the trouble spots, so this morning ease on in. We have no reports of any major delays right now. More news coming up on WKYT this morning on your Tuesday.
If you found tens of thousands of dollars on the side of the road, would you keep it? That's a question a California cop had to answer.
And we're looking outside this morning, seeing a nice clean sweep, but I want you to pay attention. Back toward the northwest, you see all that up toward your top of the screen? Yeah, that's heading our way, and I'll talk about when you can expect that. Coming up next.